Hi, Layla.
Hi, Brian.
We have an empty seat in the middle of us.
Wah, wah.
What's going on?
I think Mo's a little late.
Mo's late.
Shit happens.
I'm going to get on him.
Well, now we can just kind of catch up a little bit.
We can. You know, it's not my first time having to talk to Mo about something like this.
Really?
Oh, yeah. We'll get into that later.
Y'all had beef.
We had a little bit of beef. I love him.
the drama.
I love him. He's one of my best friends in the lifestyle space. We had a little bit of a clearing that we had to have one time.
I cannot wait to hear all about it.
I want to try something. All right. So I keep wearing the same mask.
Yeah.
And you've had various masks, and I keep wearing the same too. And my wife was like, your mask doesn't hide any of your face, really.
No, it doesn't.
So, I went on Amazon and I was like, I'm going to try to buy some new masks.
Yeah.
And so I got some new ones. First of all right, here's what I got to gripe with Amazon. I do. Because I moved to a new building, and before, look, I'm just going to get to the point. They've been delivering shit to my house at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Does that happen at your house?
Yeah. Does that bother you?
Yeah, it does. Because you can't get inside my gate. You have to hit a button and we have to let you in. And so what's happening is Amazon's showing up at 5 a.m. and like I have this setting on my phone where like when someone buzzes the door, no matter what's happening, it like takes over so I can hear it.
Yeah.
So like 5 or 6 in the morning, I'm getting these buzzes at the door, and it's the Amazon guys. It's pitch black outside and they're trying to get in. But what happened was I ordered these masks. They showed up at 5 a.m. to deliver it. This time I didn't hear my phone going off. Mm-hmm. So then it said they attempted delivery. That was like a week and a half ago, and it hasn't come back. It's like, we tried. I feel like trying to deliver something at 5 a.m. is like you saying we need to talk, and I give you a phone call at 3 a.m. And I'm like, I tried to call you. You didn't answer.
And that's it.
And that's it. I tried.
My work here is done.
That's fucked up. I don't think it counts as a delivery attempt.
You can give him a code. You can give him a code.
Oh, there's no code on our gate. Like you need to be buzzed in.
Oh, I hate that.
I mean, I could tell them to just throw it over the gate, but I didn't know they were doing 5 a.m. Who are these 5 a.m. delivery guys?
Okay, I love my 5 a.m. deliveries because then I wake up and guess what? Like I have a present at the door when I wake up.
Look, I can see that being nice, but I'm like, there's got to be a setting somewhere for me to change to tell them to stop coming at 5 a.m. because it's waking me up.
Yes, no, there is. At the very end, there's like 3 options where it's like 5 to 6 and then afternoon.
All right, I'm gonna do this because like we're missing masks and sex toys, and I want to get them delivered, but one mask did make it.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
All right, so I'm gonna try this mask.
Okay.
It's the least favorite of the ones I got. Made it.
Okay.
But we're gonna go ahead and give this a shot. So
has your wife seen it?
She has.
Okay.
She thinks it's hilarious.
Okay. Oh, okay.
She wanted something that covered my nose a bit more.
Okay.
All right, are we ready for the reveal of this mask?
Yeah, do you want me to close my eyes?
Yeah, close your eyes. I'm gonna put this mask on. Just give me a second. All right, here we go. We're gonna blur my face out while I do this.
Yes.
Okay. All right. New mask.
This better be good.
All right, open your eyes.
No way. Okay, that hides your whole face.
It hides my nose, right?
It hides half your mouth.
Look at that. It hides half my mouth.
It hides. I can barely see your eyes.
Yeah.
I can see you. I can see you enough.
All right. You can't tell it's me, right? Look
at that.
You can't even see my teeth.
No, you can't tell that's you. The other ones you can tell it's you.
See, all right. So I'm not hiding anything.
Do you feel more comfortable in that mask?
No, I feel way less comfortable. It's like pressing up against my nose in a way. I think we're going to have to get some custom masks made.
I know.
And people have been asking us to share links to our masks. So
I know.
We're going to go ahead and do that.
I got mine on like Etsy. I'll share the link. It's not a big deal.
All right. We're going to share mask links. And then you mask makers out there, we got to be better. Like we got to.
No, seriously. I know this one was like handmade. This one's cute.
This doesn't even wrap around. I got to tell you another story, Layla.
Okay, tell me.
You know, the time that we played, do you remember what happened that was painful?
Did I bite your dick too hard?
No, to you.
Painful for me.
Yeah. What hurt when I...
Oh! When your dick went in my asshole, not on purpose.
Exactly. I did that again.
You did it again? Why does this keep happening?
I did it again. And I did it at a play party.
Did she scream?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And it's a good friend. I love this person. And
oh,
I feel so bad, man.
How
I
often
gotta
does that
stop
happen
doing
to you?
this. I mean, the last time it happened was with you.
Okay. Well, then this has happened, but you've done it before me.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I have a short list. It's happened to like 4 friends of ours. That you're one of them. Some other people you know. I could say their names. We could blurt them out.
Okay.
You're gonna be like, all right. So it's happened to you.
Yeah.
It happened.
Uh-huh.
I think I did. And then I just did it.
Oh, it hurts so bad because you're thrusting, right? Like you're thrusting, you're in the groove, and you're like keeping up the momentum. And it, like, is it because when you're thrusting, you're going like all the way in and like kind of all the way out instead of kind of staying in?
Yeah, I think what's happening is like it's when the person really wants me to go for it, and it's something about like my hip movement and like the way I throw my ass back, which I think people appreciate.
Yeah,
but then it goes a little too far.
Yeah,
and then it just like comes right back at you.
It's like it's a shocking feeling, and it takes a second to like kind of come to and be like, okay, like we can go back.
Yeah, she took a break, and like this is someone who almost never takes a break at parties.
Right.
People knew something was wrong.
Oh, bless her heart. Bless her heart. Yeah, that shit hurts.
It happens. I can't be the only one doing this, but apparently people are like, yeah, that never happens to me.
No, it might have happened to me like maybe 1 or 2 other times, and that's like with Cody, who I've had sex with a zillion times. So I don't know what your deal is, but fucking stop. Get it together.
I don't want the reputation like, man, sex with Brian's great until he stabs you in the ass.
Just get your asshole ready. Like, maybe I should put a butt plug in next time we play.
Okay, so butt plugs, or like what I'll do sometimes is I'll like go under your, I'll put a finger in your ass. That way, like, there's no way for me to hit that.
Right.
It's only in missionary that it happens.
Okay.
And maybe when people's legs are like kind of like held up a certain way.
Right.
Right. But yeah, I don't want that reputation. Like I could do smaller strokes. You know, I just like, I don't have a 10-inch dick. And like, maybe if I did, this would be
you have like what, a 9-inch dick? Wait, how big is your dick? Have you measured it?
No, I haven't.
Shut the fuck up. Every guy has measured their dick.
All right. So no one believes me when I say I've never measured my dick.
No, you did it. You've done it by yourself in your room. And you're like, I'm telling no one I did this. I'm going to be super cool and tell no one I did this. Everyone's measured their dick.
Even if I didn't have a mask on right now, like I don't have a liar face right now. Like I've never measured it.
Okay, so have you ever put like a can next to it and been like, okay, it's like a Red Bull can?
No, but I've wanted to do that. Okay. No, that's crazy you said that. I think, yes, I've wanted to do that picture.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would imagine your dick is like a Red Bull can.
Dick next to a Red Bull can.
Yeah.
I can take a picture like that.
Yeah.
We will post it on the Discord.
Okay.
Because I actually don't know. Okay. If I was a girl, I would probably, if I was requesting dick pics, I'd probably ask for it versus something I know. Like Red Bull can, roll of toilet paper.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah. Or like paper towel roll.
Right.
Coke can.
Yes.
You can't choose something that you can't choose like a banana because every banana is a different size,
or your hand because every hand is different.
Every hand is different.
Right.
Even girls' hands are different.
Right.
Right. Your hands are bigger than my wife's hands.
Well, because your wife is a teeny tiny human being. I have little dainty hands, little fingers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your cock looks huge in my hand.
So then, what is the thing? Like, what is like if we set a new standard, America, for like what dick picture should be with an object? What should it be?
What if it's like, you know how there's like they'll have like a penny and it's like penny for
like a stack of quarters,
like a roll of quarters.
Yeah,
because people walk around with rolls of quarters now. This isn't the 90s.
All right, Red Bull can's pretty standard.
I like the Red Bull can. We'll do that.
All right, so Red Bull can. I wonder if I can get a movement of this from the friends. I'm gonna do this.
Let's see what happens. In like the WhatsApp, we'll just tell everybody, be like, there's different size Red Bull cans too. So it have to be like, the 8.
There are, but like the smaller one is the same size every time, right?
Well, yeah.
They have different size Coke cans. They have like Coke Mini.
That's true. Okay, we'll figure it out. All
right. But anyway, I gotta stop stabbing.
While
people.
We're waiting for Mo, I do want have you? Because I haven't had a lot of play since we've been here last. So I feel like I don't have a lot to report. To like make a long story short, I'm getting off of my SSRIs. It's been 28 days. I feel like that's been like super fucking with my head. It's been fucking with my libido. So I even had, we can blurt this out, but I had come over, you know who I'm talking about?
Yep.
That lives down the street from me, to have a threesome. And I was like, hey, come over, let's have a threesome. And he comes over and we're all hanging out and we're talking and we're great. And I'm like, I don't want to have sex right now. I'm very attracted to my husband. I'm very attracted to this guy. And we're all like hanging out on the couch, just like shooting the shit. And like, we're just kind of getting to know each other a little bit because it's a newer friend. And we had a fantastic time and a great time. But my intention was to have a threesome. And I found myself like my intention was to have a threesome, right? But when I texted him, I was like, hey, do you want to just like come over and hang out and whatever happens, happens. So I didn't set a precedent that like we're having sex. It was just like whatever happens, happens, right? I was also on my period, but like I have sex with my period. I think it feels amazing, whatever. And so at the end of the night, he's like going home and I found myself like apologizing to him. So my question to you is, if you were invited by someone that was in the lifestyle, but that you're also like friends with, right? And they're like, hey, maybe we'll play, maybe we won't, but like just come hang out. You live right down the street, like, and you go over and you hang out, no play happens, and then you leave. But you had a great time. Would you be like upset with me for not pursuing sex?
I'd be livid.
I know you would be.
I'd be so, I'm not. I'm fucking with you. Nah, dude, I think you have to be like, man, we can't expect sex from everybody all the time.
Yeah.
I think. And everyone's going through shit. Like, here's what I think about the lifestyle space. Honestly, like the dates of these events don't change depending on your mood. Right. So play party's going to happen whether you're on your period or not. Or if you just got off meds or not. Or like play party starts at 9, you can get a horrible phone call at 8 p.m.
Right.
And then you go at 9 and it's like, all right, now my mood has shifted. So like, I think we got to give some people some grace. So no, I don't think I personally would not be disappointed. Okay. But he lives down the street, right? Right. Maybe if I like drove 2 hours, I would be a little more disappointed. But you know, honestly, like I could be inside of you and you should be able to say like, I want to stop. Okay. Right. Like, I think that's how consent works. At any given point, anybody could say like, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. And I've done that. I've done that at parties too. Like playing with someone. I'm like, you know what, man, I'm going to take a break because I'm just not feeling it. And I think that's fine. Yeah. You're fine. Don't feel bad about that. Like, I don't want you to feel like you let somebody down.
Well, that's how it feels naturally. And I think it's because like I sexualize myself a lot. And sometimes I'll put like a lot of my value in how sexual I am. Right. And that's something I'm working on. I'm in therapy, relax, like I'm doing all the things to try to get past that. But I'll put a lot of my worth on like, because I think I get great blowjobs. I think I'm great in bed. Like, I think I can, like, that's fun for me. But sometimes I'll be like, God, I just don't want to be sexualized right now, which is hard because that's what gives me a lot of confidence. So, like this guy is leaving and I found myself like stopping him and being like, I'm really sorry. And he was so great. He stopped me and he was like, what are you sorry for? And I'm like, well, we didn't have, sex. And he was like, I had a great time. Yeah. He's like, Layla, people like hanging out with you. Right. And I'm like, oh, like I forget that I'm also cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's just, when you join this lifestyle, a lot is focused around sex, although we do go to concerts and we do lots of things that aren't, sex related, but I'll still feel like, should I be doing something? Mm-hmm. Should I be sexier? Should I be touching more people? Should I be kissing more people? Maybe if I do drugs, I'll feel like that. Right. Right. And so sometimes I'll find myself doing substances that I don't actually want to do because I'm trying to get in the mood so I don't disappoint anybody, and that's not chill. So that's another reason why like I'm done with substances for now. So like I'm not smoking weed. I'm not going to do like mushrooms anymore. I'm not doing like any like extracurricular activities whatsoever. Yeah,
you're on this whole cleanse journey right now.
I am. I started working out again. Like I'm trying to focus more on my mental health, just like a lot of things. So it's, and we're getting ready to go to a play party weekend. We're going to Palm Springs
with Springs.
with like literally like 20 other couples. Right. And I'm nervous because one, there's going to be substances. Mm-hmm. I have no desire to use any substances. So I think that's going to be fine. I do want to vape again. Mm-hmm. That's killing me. But I'm nervous that like, because there's a couple there that's going they're soft swap and they've always been soft swap and they've been in the lifestyle for years. And they've made it known to Cody and I the last time we saw them that they want their first hard swap to be with me and Cody. Right. And we're going to spend time with them this weekend. And so now I want a hard swap with them, but but I also feel like a pressure also, you know? Because like, what if I still have like not a high sex drive and like I don't want to? Like I've disappointed them, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this. I'm excited, but I'm nervous that I'm going to like let people down, or I'm not going to be as fun or like as sexy, or I don't know.
How many women do you think feel like this?
Probably a lot, I imagine.
Yeah.
You know, probably more than we realized, because it's only something I have felt this way for a long time, you know, on and off, but this is the first time that I've admitted it to myself and like have said it out loud, you know, because like I actually don't have a high sex drive, which is very ironic with the amount that I play and the play parties that I go to. I find myself going to these parties because not that I crave sex, but I crave attention. And like, I crave people being like, that was the best blowjob I've ever had. Or like, Layla's really amazing. Like I found something that I'm good at, but I don't always enjoy it. You know, my husband, Cody, and I this has kind of been a topic of conversation for, you know, a while, where it's like, he wants to have sex with me for connection, right? And I feel like sex is almost like playing tennis, almost, where it's like, yeah, tennis is fun and I enjoy it, but I don't always want to play it. You know, like it's something fun to do, right? And sometimes I will see sex like that, where it's something fun to do, but I don't want to, you know? And so Cody will be like, oh, like we haven't had sex in a while and like I want to connect. And I'm like, you know, I'm coming off my meds. I'm withdrawing from all sorts of shit. I've had the kids all day. I'm exhausted. So the answer is like, no, I don't want to. But like he wants to connect with me. So we have found new ways to connect with each other that isn't like sexually driven, whether that's like cuddling or just having deep talks or watching a movie together, like things like that. I feel like I'm having like my own therapy session right here. Like I like forgot that there's cameras.
No, you're fine.
But we don't need to make it all about me. But like I'm going through a lot right now.
Do you think sex is a form of communication?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it part of how Cody likes to communicate?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's so like when he's missing sex, he's probably feeling like he's missing connection and communication with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife read a book recently or a podcast or something, and the doctor was kind of saying like they wish more couples had sex even when people don't want to do it, because it is communication, and they're almost encouraging it for you to do it because it's a form of communication with your partner. I think you can feel however you want and you can do whatever the fuck you want, Layla.
Well,
like I don't think you need to press anybody or show up for anybody else. I don't think you have a reputation to uphold. I think you can get to a party and feel like, hey, I want to watch the whole time. And here's what I love. And like, this is what my wife and I fight about too. And we're kind of taking a pause from play parties right now also, because like sometimes I feel she's doing a bunch of stuff for other people, and that's when she's not saying no. Right. And then she goes home and she feels used. Right. And you could have said no the whole time, or you didn't have the experience you wanted, you know, because the guy who you wanted to sleep with, you were so busy with everyone else coming up to you, and then you didn't say no. And so you didn't get the experience that you wanted. And so I think you get to be selfish and create the experience that you want. And you don't have to apologize for that to anybody. Yeah. And like, we're all different people at different times. And like, here's the thing. No one says anything about if, I don't know, I'm going to say a name, we'll blurt it out, right? If it's not feeling great and she just does a bunch of blowjobs, no one says anything about it. Yeah. If like just wants to wear a dildo that night and fuck girls, like no one says anything about it. Yeah. So I think that for the women like you that are putting so much pressure on yourself to show up a certain way, just stop. It's you. Yeah. It's you, and none of us are asking that for you. So I think if you go to Palm Springs and like you give one blowjob the whole time and that's the experience you want and that's ideal for you, then fucking do it. You've earned that right. Yeah. You've earned that privilege. Yeah. And like,
no, thank you.
Love yourself too. Like, love you.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I'm curious how it's going to be, because maybe in the heat of the moment, like things will, you know, I'll
maybe
get excited and I'll like want to have sex with everybody and it'll be great. I don't know. Like I'm still experiencing the withdrawals from the SSRI. So I'm still getting the brain zaps, and I'm still like, I feel like I'm dreaming. Like everywhere I walk, I go, am I wearing clothes? I keep finding myself being like, am I wearing clothes? Like I'm like fucking crazy person right now. Yeah. So it's weird timing going into like a play party full blown weekend. But thank you. Like I'm going to give myself permission to like, I think my intentions going into the party was like, let's fuck and let's go crazy. And now it's like, maybe I'm just going to relax by the pool and chill out.
And that's fine.
I'll be fine. Well, thank you.
And Mo's here.
Yay, Mo!
All right, we're bringing Mo on. Hey, quick timeout, safe word, like and subscribe. If you're liking the content and you want to see more stuff like this, hit the like and subscribe button below. And we promise we'll keep bringing spicy, sexy content your way. Let's start the conversation from there, Layla.
Yay!
Mo and I are both Black.
Yes.
Hi, Mo.
Hi.
Are you doing all right today?
I'm good.
You're here, dude. You're here.
Yeah. How you doing?
Okay. I'm excited for you, Mo, because I think part of what I want to talk about today is like the comedy of what we do in our life, like what our lifestyles are. 'Cause you've been in the lifestyle space for how long now?
About a little over a decade.
A decade. And it's a funny ass space. Yeah. Like we end up in really funny situations and you really harness that and turn it into like, I'm going to go do stand up and talk about this stuff because it's hilarious, right?
Yeah, no, I think there's humor in everything if you look for it. And even and especially in the most awkward, the most challenging, the craziest, the most human, those are the places that you find the best comedy and the funniest moments if you're looking for it. So, yeah.
Right. All right. So I'm going to run a question by you. I got a phone call yesterday from a mutual friend of ours, and he wanted to ask me a question, like a Black guy question. So he called the one of the 4 Black guys he knew, which was me. He could have called you too.
We got to get more black friends.
We do
out there, guys. If you have one Black friend, that's not enough anymore. This is 2024. You need at least 2 to 5 Black friends. All right, I'm raising the bar for everyone out there. No more. I have a Black friend. That is like, what is it, 5-10 years ago?
Yeah.
Like 1960. Okay, guys, you need at least 5 Black friends. I'm putting it out there.
I agree.
That's the rule.
Yeah, even in the lifestyle, you got to have 5 Black friends.
Everybody.
Okay, so there's this girl who we run into at play parties all the time, and anytime she's fucking a Black guy, she'll start saying stuff out loud. She'll start saying like, "Yeah, girl, look at me. I'm getting that BBC. Yeah, that BBC's all up in there. I'm
Wait,
taking
she says
it
that while you're fucking her?
out loud, bro, super loud. Like
Is
the
that
whole room
weird?
can hear it. That's what he was asking me. Is that weird? And so I'm asking Mo.
Wait, the guy was asking or the girl was asking?
He was asking me if we feel some type of way about her saying that.
And she is his partner?
No, she's just like a random girl.
Oh, a random girl. Oh, okay. Yes.
You feel some type of way?
Yes, I feel some kind of way. Well, here's the thing. Everything's consensual. And so race play is part of the areas that you need to get consent for. You know, like, would you, if I was like, yeah, I'm like having sex with this white girl, like, this white pussy, or I don't know what it's called, like,
I would hate that.
I know that
You would hate
the
that?
I would hate
snowflake
it.
kitty cat. Like if I was like, "Hey, get a snowflake kitty cat," that would be. I would at least need to ask consent before I hit that snowflake kitty cat. I don't know.
No.
Yeah. See,
I would hate that
That
too.
makes me uncomfortable. Like exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm presuming you have one. So like
I do.
Yeah.
You both fucked this snowflake pussycat,
Yeah,
and
I
if you were to say something like that, I would be very uncomfortable.
So-
That's not
Right.
But
It's
if I
not
talk
like it's
about-
wrong. It's just a consent question.
So,
Yes.
but can I talk about my own dick? If I'm talking to you and I'm like, hey, Layla, how do you like that black dick in you? Would you?
I would like it, but that's just me. I would think that was hot. I mean, I love Black men. I mean, I love all men, but like my first boyfriend was a Black guy, and we dated for 4 years. And it was my first boyfriend. Like, he was my first everything. So like, I have like this love for Black men. So if you were to say something like that, I'd be like, ugh, I love it. Like, I love it. But I'm not sure.
So okay. But now if she came at us and she was like, hey, how do y'all like this snow kitty?
Snow kitty. Yeah. I feel like that should be like a Bond villain. They're like, oh, hello, Snow Kitty. I'm like, my name is Bond.
Okay, but if she throws white pussy at us, are you still like,
oh,
this
you like
is
that
race
white
play?
pussy? Like,
That would be weird. I'd be like, wait, is the question weird or not weird?
Yeah.
We play the game. That's weird. We're gonna go
Okay.
weird. We're gonna go.
Okay.
I'm gonna put you weird. Well, here's the thing: is like, I mean, there's the rule that you could say anything if it's fun. You can make any joke if it's funny. If it's not funny, that's when you run into problems. Like, like, oh, he's canceled. Oh, that was inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
If it was funny, nobody would care. Like if you hear a comedian or whatever, or not even a comedian, anybody, and they make a joke and it does not land, and then they get in the hot water and they're like, what, you can't say blah, blah, blah anymore? I'm like, no, you can say anything. You can literally say anything if it's funny. You can literally say anything if it's consensual, if it's funny, or if it lands. Now, here's the thing is, words have consequences. You can say anything, but if it does not land, if it was not consensual, or if it was not funny, then you must pay the consequences. So it's an individual gamble and risk that you are taking if you aren't funny or it doesn't land. Like, I could say that in a way if I was interacting with somebody that it's all good. And then there's another scenario that it's not good. Your risk, your reward.
So, all right. So then you're doing comedy now and like at a high level too. And like you're even running comedy shows.
Lower to medium level. I'm like high is a relative word.
To me,
thank you.
High risk though, because you are saying stuff that's like very edgy for a lot of people. So like, you're taking that risk. Have there been jokes where it's like, man, people really get that ENM side of it versus like you've done this other joke, you're like, man, people really don't like that one when it comes to this world?
Yes. It depends. You got to know your audience with everything. If you're making jokes with an in-group of the joke, then that is a different joke. And if you're making jokes with the out group of that joke. So for example, if I'm going to a party where there are a bunch of people who are open and I'm making E&M jokes, they're going to land and be received differently than if I'm making those same jokes in front of an audience that may or may not be, or is mixed, or is not in that lifestyle. So it know your audience is the first thing. And yeah, it's like, I've when you talk about this stuff to people who aren't in the community, the first thing you have to get past, I was making a joke the other day about, it's like, oh yeah, this party, it's like this sex party and and all these things happen. And I lost the audience on the sex party part. Like they were like, wait, you were making people and you all are having sex. I'm like, okay, yeah, get past that part. So like, there's a funny part here. So you really have to, and then, and the other guys were like, man, fuck you, dog. Like, I wouldn't go to the party. So like half the party hating you. The other part was thinking that you're a demon or a heathen or whatever. So you have to sort of deal with the context of the audience that you're with. And so you have to kind of, bring them along on the joke and make sure the joke is not about the weirdness or otherness of the community, but of the point or of the joke that you're making.
Right.
And I think that's what is a good, well-crafted joke or not a well-crafted joke. You heard a guy who will talk about his night last night. He's like, yeah, man, I had I had like a hot girl and she was doing this and we did that and she sucked my dick or whatever like that. And like, you're hearing the story and you're like, this guy just sounds like he's bragging, or this is a really good story. Like that is you have to sort of be able to temper the joke or the story accordingly.
It's kind of like comedy has to be relatable.
Yes.
Right. And like so much online, like social media is often like aspirational.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a private jet like Dan Blazarian, but for some reason, like the content pops up. You're like, oh, that looks interesting. Like pick anybody. Like people follow the Kardashians, but we're not being invited to the billionaires, like, Indian wedding, right?
Speak for yourself, Brian. I am very important.
But comedy, you have to find your stuff, man. As you're saying, the minute you started talking about Play Party, the audience got lost because they had too many questions about that to continue with anything else you were saying, right?
Right. And so, and generally the relatability comes into the fact that, and this is what I try to do with my comedy, the more vulnerable and honest you are with yourself and your role in the story, it helps make it more relatable, So it's like, if that's what, if you're telling a joke about something you're not a part of or don't have an either emotional investment in or a stake in or some sort of POV in, then that runs the risk of it being unrelatable. So you have to first find, what is my role in this story? What is my vulnerability? What is my risk? What is my fear? And then you can better access the joke and the story.
Yeah.
Are most of your jokes like E&M related, or do you find that no, it's not?
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I used to be the key comedian. I sort of like now change it to like the hype man comedian. So part of it is just, I'm trying to game the algorithm like everybody else, like I'm trying to like, oh, what's your angle? What's your lane? But I by no means want to be only that. I have a lot of, politics jokes. I have race jokes. I have, I'm from the South jokes. So there's a lot more content there. It's just, this is a space that I have experience in that is somewhat different. So I do sort of lean into it and, perform it at parties and things like that because it's, unique. We are all looking for our snowflake moment. And,
Yeah. Well, it's probably a hard balance.
That wasn't a race kitty thing, by the way. That was a snowflake as an individual. I'm not talking about her kitty again. Although that might, just to be clear.
Well, it's interesting because like we have been getting some comments on like Reddit. I read some comments to Brian and our producer, how I've had some people say your podcast isn't, we want it to be unique and we want it to be relatable.
Right.
And I'm like, where's that line? Because those are very different, right? You want us to be something you've never heard before, but also something that you can relate to. Like that's hard. So finding that balance, I imagine, is like, okay, what's my niche? But like, how do I still remain relatable?
I'd first like to say, I think that, most of the people I know wear masks all the time too. So this might be the most relatable podcast I've ever been. Like I feel really at home with these masks. So like this is how this is like a Thursday afternoon for me.
I wear this just hanging
Sunday
out.
mornings, mask. Yeah. So like the mask part of it is, but I understand your point. The subject matter and what you're saying, you want to sort of land and connect with people. Like I said, like the only way to get there is, I think, through vulnerability. If you want to be relatable, you have to be vulnerable. And that is just a flat out rule, not just with comedy, with life.
Well, no, I mean, that's a good point. Cause like we want to, for just, oh crap, sorry.
It's Amazon.
I probably.
Yeah.
Damn, Jeff Bezos blowing you up like that? I'm like, oh.
It's the deliveries, man.
Snow Kitty has gotten around. I mean, he's heard about you.
A new nickname now.
Oh, yeah. Snow Kitty over here.
But no, it was like right before you walked in, I was talking to Brian about how I go back and forth about like what I want to talk about on our podcast, right? And like how much I want to disclose to our listeners and our viewers, because I want to be entertaining, but also I want people to know kind of what's really going on in our life. And I'm getting off of my SSRIs that I've been on since I was 16. And like my libido has been like all over the place and it's been really fucking with me. And like my identity in the scene, like in this lifestyle has been kind of messing with me the last couple months. And so we were talking about that before you came on and I'm like, oh fuck, like did I fuck up? One, is that boring? And two, did I fuck up by disclosing like too much about me? Did I get too vulnerable too fast? And there's a fear in vulnerability too, but you're right. Like that's what people want to hear. That's what they want to listen to.
Yeah.
Or it's it's relatable too. Cause I think that you're like some jokes you do will probably be about like threesomes or like you love eating. Well, I'm going to put this out. We can blurt it if we need to, but like, you love eating pussy.
I do. It's nutritious. It's delicious. And it's part of a daily balanced breakfast, I think.
I watched him do a live performance.
We were both there. You did a live demo.
Yeah, you were there too.
Yeah.
And you were making jokes while you're like, and at this point, this is what I'm doing. Like, you're pausing to give
incredible.
people instructions.
I watch TV with subtitles, so I appreciate it. So I try to give that subtitles.
You're like
TV.
in a minute she will orgasm. You kept going. And I was like, but that is like you didn't have to say that happened at a sex party. You could have just like, I did a demo once. Eating pussy.
I am an oversharer and I talk way too much. So I think that what you do, one thing, you do all things. So yeah, it's kind of on brand for me to do. I don't normally always talk when I'm performing oral sex on the feet of Adam. But when I do, no,
it was so hot, and then she squirted everywhere.
She did.
Like, it was so hot.
It was hot.
It was so good.
High five.
Good time had by all.
Good job, brother. All right.
Wait, hold on, real quick. We can cut this out if it's boring. You said you're from the South.
Yes.
Where are you from?
Mississippi.
I'm from Georgia.
We didn't talk about that?
We've never talked about this.
That's crazy, yeah.
That's cool.
That is definitely a bond. I do feel like Southerners, especially the ones who've escaped from the South to some degree, have a bond with each other and like a relatability.
Yes.
And there's like a culture there. And I really do. I love the South. I'm a fan of it. I'm a son of it. And also I love meeting people who are from the South, but not in the South. I think that's like a really interesting, and that's why
I was like, halt everything. You're from the South, because it is. You're right. It's like a culture thing. Like I love the South and I love all that. But were you ever living in Mississippi when you were in the lifestyle?
No.
Okay, so it wasn't until you came out here.
Yes.
So how long have you been in the lifestyle, and how long have you been doing comedy?
10 years, about a little over a decade for the lifestyle. I've been doing comedy for almost 2 years.
Oh, so comedy's kind of a newer venture.
Yeah, it's really new. Yes.
I thought you've been doing it for like ever, because you're just so fucking funny.
Well, thank you very much.
You've been doing it forever.
I'm like, and yes, I will give you my number. I'm like, I'm like, I appreciate that very much.
And also, can we fuck again?
Yeah, I'm like, yes, of course.
Yes.
I mean, yes
Layla?
and yes. Guys, it's just that easy. All right? So tell women you're from Mississippi, and then
Look,
you're in. That's
I'm
it.
ready. I'm ready.
And you're like, and within 10 Mississippis, she will be on it. So no, Mo's been around so long that like, all right, this, again, we can cut this if you don't want me to say this, Mo. We have to say this all the time, but like, we were at a party the other day and a porn star was there. And everyone was like all over, like wanted to fuck this porn star. My wife hated her, by the way. Like hated her, like didn't want me to touch her. We argued about it later. But then the next day, Mo was like, oh yeah, I knew her way before that. I knew her before she got her ass done, her tits done. And he goes back in his phone. You pulled out a picture from like 8 years ago or something. And you're like, I was her first threesome.
What? That's so cool.
And she's like a big porn star now. And he's like,
basically, I create porn stars. Basically, so if you, all the women out there, if you want to get in the industry, come see me, and we will hang, and then I'll launch a career. No, she's really good. It's really weird because I think she is a good friend, and she was a friend, and we were friends before. Like I said, she got into the industry, and she's a sweetheart, and so. The porn thing was the shock to me because it's like, oh, if you just knew your friend and you guys hung out and then all of a sudden the next thing she became this huge porn star and you're like, oh, well, like that to me is the weird part. Not that I knew her when. Right. It's more of like, oh, and everybody's like, you knew her? I was like, yeah, she was a sweet woman and her and her boyfriend were good friends of me and my girlfriend at the time. And we were just hanging out and we all, played. So yeah, so that was interesting. But I think that what you find is because this lifestyle is seen as such a weird, an other, this sort of sometimes shunned, shamed group, that when you're sort of in it or when you sort of get into it, you want to feel like you both have a community and then have a way to make money, have a career, have a family, have friends. You want to still have a regular, normal life. It's just that, if you start like she did, become a porn star, you can't then go run a bank.
You can't.
Yeah. So it's like there are certain options available to you. You could be a porn star. You could do a podcast. You could be a comedian. So you end up finding people sort of, corralling around a certain jobs and functions and making their way in the world because you both want to be a part of this and you want to be a part of society.
Totally.
So yeah.
Totally.
I mean, you could be president, but that's the only other option, I know. A little timing right now. I know. Like
we were just talking about this. Like,
literally, yeah.
Because anything talking, like, it's like anything talking about Trump right now is going viral because it's hitting the algorithm like crazy.
Trump. There you go. This guy,
Donald Trump, Donald Trump, put us on your algorithm.
Great. You're right. Yeah, like I saw Trump at a sex party.
Yeah. I'm like, hot take.
That ought to do it.
Yeah.
So right before you walked in, Brian was telling me that eventually, at some point, you guys have had beef before.
Yeah. We're gonna find it out at the end of the podcast. Stay tuned. So stay tuned.
Yeah, and so this is so because you once said like this space is probably like 90% therapy, 10% fun. Yeah. Right? It's like the conversations and stuff. And like even what you were saying before Mo got here, like those are real emotions. And so yeah, we had it wasn't even a disagreement. I was like, man, I gotta go talk to Mo because this thing was happening. And it was that, and I was also mad at my wife about it too. It was you had a crush on my wife.
I mean, she's beautiful.
Who doesn't?
Yeah,
first of all.
Don't make it sound like I'm weird.
This
is
like, what? Gorgeous.
Yeah. Like
this happens. This is so awkward, dude. I can't believe we're talking about this in public. But
you brought it up. I was looking at the right out of the show. I was like, "Is Brian mad at me?" I was looking at the subjects of like what we were going to be talking about. I was like, "Dude, I think me and Brian need to hang out."
Oh, you're still beefing.
I know. Brought me on a podcast and talk about this. I was like, "Oh my god!"
We just came here to fight you.
I know, like literally.
The lights are going to go down.
I'm trying to attack. I should have brought bodyguards.
My mask is making me like snort a little bit, so just like I gotta blow my nose so bad. But look, so what would happen is like we were gonna leave, like let's say we were getting to a party or leave a party. Everyone says like hello, goodbye, kiss, whatever. But Mo would be the only one who would just like full makeout session with my wife whenever he got the opportunity to. So it could be a situation where it's like, hey Layla, hey we gotta go. And then you see Mo and he's like, okay, bye, Layla. And it's like, make out. And I'm just kind of standing there waiting for them to finish so we could go. And sometimes it'd be like a minute or two. And it got to a point where I'd have to like, I remember once I like snapped my fingers at my wife. I was like, let's go.
Like, shot.
And then I was like, you only do that with Mo. And like, it turned into this thing. So I had to have a conversation with him. And I was like, man, it's not you, but in those moments, it gets weird. And then I get mad at her because I can't get mad at you.
Wait, are you jealous? Is that why? Or are you just like, we got to go, Uber's here?
It was just like time and place.
Okay.
It just felt more like time and place. Like, you're welcome to play with, and you've had sex, you've hooked up with her. And like, that doesn't bother me. It was just the moments and when it was happening didn't feel like the right time for that. But we had that talk. We've been great since then. And then you told me the other day you had to like give someone else like guidance,
First of all, the act of people, especially men, coming out and connecting and talking with other men, I think is an underappreciated and necessary thing. So I looked at that situation as I appreciated the reach out, the connection. It was a blind spot to a large degree. And that's what's so interesting is like I said, I've been in it for a decade. I do the same thing for other men. It happens to you too, to think that you're like, oh, I don't know everything. I'm this or that. You don't. There's always more things to learn. There's always different ways to grow. So, I think in my mind, I'm always in this sort of like Harlequin romance novel version of, in my mind, I'm like, yes, baby, let's come into my embrace, and like, that's the way like my sexuality is really like sensual and connected, that kind of thing. So, the blind spot was like, oh yeah, this is how I connect with people. But to your point, time and place. And so that was a blind spot I didn't, I wasn't conscious of in that way. And so like, I really appreciate that. And so then, yeah, you have a conversation, and this is sort of a good lesson that, someone asked me like, how do conflicts happen at play parties? Other than naked fighting that we do at the end of every fight where all the husbands beat up the other husbands who play with their wives, you try to have great conversation and being like, hey, I felt this way about this situation, and then you speak on it and you connect and you talk as evolved humans might. So yeah, I think there was some comedian who was just kind of like, yeah, it's I don't do lifestyle because I don't like therapy. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, I was like, I don't share my way. And I was like, I get it. I'm like, hey, if you don't want to do the work, you don't get to do the work.
Dude, my wife the other day was like, what would our relationship look like without lifestyle? It's like, I feel like the only thing we argue about or disagree about is like things that happen in this space. Mm-hmm. And it's weird because we love it and it's a blast, but it also creates like times where we have to talk and like discuss how we feel about that. And like, don't play with that person. I'm not comfortable with them. And that wouldn't be happening if we weren't doing this. At the same time, like, it's a blast. When it does go well, it's phenomenal.
I think it's really fun too, because like, if you are married and you are not in the lifestyle, you're like, my relationship already is hard. Why would I want to make it harder? Mm-hmm. And I totally understand that sentiment. It's kind of like, I don't need that extra smoke in my life. And you're totally right. Because what your point is, the lifestyle does, it pushes those edges. You know what I'm saying? Like, it pushes the edges of comfortability. It pushes the edges of ego, of all those things. And there are people who are like, hey, I want to push and grow a relationship in these areas myself, in these areas, challenge myself. If, like you said, if you didn't have lifestyle, you wouldn't fight over anything. If you didn't have lifestyle, you would fight over other things. You would just find different things to fight over. So what actually ends up happening is that lifestyle makes the other parts of your relationship way smoother and easier to some degree.
That is true.
Like, like, we don't argue over the dishes, me and my girlfriend. Like, we, like, that is the easiest conversation because we've already argued over what we did at the last play party. So I say to the people who are in marriages who are like, well, I don't want to make my life any more difficult. Great. That's awesome. However, if you did, the other parts of your life would feel a lot easier in the same way that, like, if you were, struggling in math and then you took an advanced calculus course, you'd struggle in that. But I guarantee the other math would be a lot easier. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would be able to add, and subtract at that point. You're like, yeah. So do you want to, do you want the challenge? Mm-hmm. Do you want that extra experience in life? Mm-hmm. Like, I could be single, childless. I could also have a kid. That's going to gonna raise the level of difficulty of my life a bit.
Right.
You know, some people don't want kids. Great, live your life at that level. So it's all about what kind of how you want to live this life and through what challenges and how you want to push yourself to some degree.
Man, see, and this is why I want to have you on more episodes. We're going to end this here, but that was phenomenal. Is there anywhere you want people to find you, to follow you?
Yes. MauriceJamesComedy.com is my website. At Maurice James Comedy on Instagram is my handle. I have Kinky Comedy, a show, which is this really cool comedy event, actually in my backyard right now, where we have 5 or 6 headlining comedians, pole dancing, fire performances. And so it kind of blends kink and comedy, which I think is an interesting space because you can laugh and orgasm. I think, I don't know.
Is it a play party?
The event is not a play party. The event is, safe for work. Well, maybe not, depending on where you work. It's a party. It's events from 6 to 9. Wink, wink. But it is come laugh your pants off, but keep your underwear on. So it is safe. We've had teenagers there and things like that. Like, it's a little bit bawdy humor, but it's not play party.
Got it.
Afterwards, sometimes we have a private invite only type of play party, just sort of with friends, but it is unrelated to the event. And I sometimes need to clarify that. People are like, "Oh, I don't want to go because I don't want to have sex." I'm like, it's just comedy.
Got
and
it.
a show. Yeah.
When's the next one?
August 17th is the next one. So yeah, definitely I'll be.
We'll help hype it up because I think it's a great place for people to go that aren't in it and want to be exposed to it, or like just see the edge of it a bit as a start.
Yeah.
So thanks, man. I love having you on the show. We'll have you back.
Man, I had a great time.
We'll have
Thanks,
you back. We're going to wrap up for this one, Layla. Hey, so for everybody, don't forget, if you like this content, you like people like Mo being on it, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until we see you next time, make sure you try something or someone new.
Ooh.
And I will be wearing this mask at every show.